All right, so we're not done yet. One more issue. The EFCC had made a release warning promoters of planned protests, and that has gotten some flags for them, against them rather, and it's been a conversation for a long time. That's why I want to talk about this within the short time we have about the EFCC warning against a planned protest. They said that this protest has been instigated against the commission, and they're even alluding to the fact that certain elements maybe that are under prosecution and all of that are behind all of this. So that's what we want to talk about in the few minutes we have with Mr. Chido Onuma, who is a social activist. Mr. Onuma, thank you so much for coming on the program. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So let's begin with your quick overview, because we need to, Shakespeare said, brevity is the soul of wit, so we need to be snappy with this. When we saw the release by EFCC warning, these are things we usually see with the DSS. The EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, so people were wondering whether we're warning against the protests. Maybe you can help us make sense.
Well, I haven't seen, or I didn't see the release. Perhaps if you could explain maybe in a few words exactly what
well, maybe I'll just read the first two paragraphs. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission wishes to alert the general public on a plan by a shadowy group to instigate a protest against the commission. In the last couple of days, the group has been actively campaigning in the social media, recruiting impressionable young Nigerians, including students, to take up arms against EFCC. Now, this is on the background of the fact that we've seen even recently where the EFCC chairman had to give an order for some of his people to be brought to question because they went for an assignment or a mission and a lady was assaulted. So people are complaining about their quote-unquote Gestapo approach in doing their job. So perhaps the young people are fed up and tired and they are saying this can no longer happen again. But the EFCC is saying it's not just about that. There are undertones to this.
Okay, so I think it makes absolute sense. People have the right to protest. As Nigerians, we can protest bad governance, we can protest corruption, we can protest the poverty in the land and so on. It's within our constitutional rights, and I think the law provides cover for people who want to embark on protest. Just the same way that the EFCC also has the right to explain itself, explain its position. If it has intel, for example, those behind this planned protest, what the aims are. It's important that the EFCC issues a statement giving its own side of the story, so to say, to alert the public. I'm not sure from what you read that the EFCC was calling for consequences for any protest. I think people should just look exactly at the tone of the message in sense that this is happening and the commission feels obligated to inform the public that we know that this is being organized by certain groups, certain individuals, either because they have been at the receiving end of some of the actions that the EFCC has taken. Clearly, if people have grievances, whether with the EFCC or any agency or institution of government, there are also, I think, opportunities and channels to address these grievances. And I read the part, or I saw the press release where the EFCC cautioned its staff and also said it was going to investigate. And I think the EFCC has made efforts recently to address some of these concerns by the public.
Okay, but in looking at generally, because they say they are not averse to protest, but they are just calling for caution, given the fact that they are suspecting a few things that may be a threat to national peace and security. But looking at the reputation of the EFCC and their style recently, are you concerned? Because given what we've seen with the incident that called for reprimand by the chairman, they say first time could be an accident, second is a coincidence, third is now deliberate. Are you worried about some of their style as a social activist?
I'm not. I mean, every institution, agency has its bad eggs. The important thing is the kind of response you get from the leadership of the organization. And once this happened and it was in the public, the leadership took action immediately. I don't see how the EFCC can, and I don't think it's within their powers to stop people from protesting. Yes, they can caution or explain to the public that this is what we know, these are the people responsible for this, and it's left for Nigerians to take a decision on that. So I don't think the actions of one or two individuals within the commission or one or two operatives of the commission can be said to be representative of how the EFCC operates its modus
without trying
operandi.
Mr. Onoma, without trying to speak against the EFCC, if you follow, that's why I use the word accident, coincidence, and deliberate. And what it's doing to the reputation. It's an institution of government and our institution as Nigerians, so we must protect it. But so who checks some of the excesses of the commission for those people who are going against the law and spoiling the work of the good elements within the commission?
Yeah, of course, the EFCC, like other organizations in the country, has internal mechanism to check the excesses of staff. But again, I keep alluding to the action that took place immediately. We saw the viral video of the assault during a sting operation. So the point is that is action taken when this thing comes to the attention of the leadership of the commission, or how much do we know of the internal mechanism put in place to check the excesses of, just like the police or the military or other law enforcement agencies? You have criminal elements within these organizations. You have bad eggs, as we say in Nigeria, within this organization. The important thing is the response. And I think in this situation, the commission has responded swiftly to the concern. So the issue of protest, it's really different. People have the right to protest and they can express their grievances. And the EFCC also has the responsibility to alert the public about what it feels that this is all about. And it's left for Nigerians to judge at the end of the day based on what those who come out to protest do, and also the kind of action and responses that the EFC puts up in when it. I think there one other important point to make here is the question of communication. I think the EFCC, the EFCC needs to do more education and communication with the public to reassure them of its duty and responsibility. And I hope with that, this tension that in carrying out its activities, people will not read negative elements into it.
Mr. Onoma, I must thank you for your perspective. You know, the reason for some of these things is that the public perception is that there's a lot going on when it comes to chasing Yahoo boys and getting results and chasing corrupt political figures who have looted billions and billions of naira. So maybe the public wants that same energy used to chase people that are fraudulent on the internet, to also chase people that are their hands in the cookie jar, perhaps. But I must thank you. Mr. Chidi Onoma is a social activist. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right, that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time. And of course, your company will continue to watch the polity. And as far as we're concerned, we'll bring it to the fore to make sense of that situation every day of the week right here on Politics Today. Thank you for watching. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. God bless the Federal Republic, Nigeria.